tous, bienvenue sur United Rock Nation. Je suis très heureux aujourd'hui d'être avec Mr.
Harri from the band Airbourne.
Yeah, Airbourne, les rois du hard rock à l'australienne. Et on a plein de choses intéressantes. On va discuter, notamment le nouvel album qui sort le 25 octobre et qui s'appelle Boneshaker. And then the next tour, which is going to go here in France for 3 dates. So you guys are going to be playing four dates actually.
Four,
yeah. Okay.
We have 2 nights in Paris.
Oh,
two nights in Paris.
2 nights in Paris. Okay, that's cool. That's very good to know.
Yeah.
So you're going to be here in October, right? So 2 dates in Paris. Then you guys are going to be in Strasbourg and in Nîmes as well. So we are very fortunate to have you guys for 4 nights. Wow. How are you going to survive this? I don't know.
It's it's definitely. I mean, that's touring life, and that's the life we chose, and we're fortunate to have this job. So really, we wouldn't be here if we didn't absolutely love rock and roll and love what we're doing. Because as you mentioned, it's grueling. It's really hard work, but we're lucky that we get to step on stage every single night, and whether someone's sick or tired or you know, a little bit down or whatever it may be, or we're lucky to have you know, fans. We call them our family. Like a family of people in a room who give us the energy to get through a show. So yeah, that was really cool. Obviously, the French shows, the reception to those were incredible. We announced this tour before I think even recording Boneshaker, and all 4 French shows sold out, you know, extremely fast. So unfortunately, there's obviously a lot of people who aren't even able to get tickets to these shows. But you know, it's going to be. We were talking off camera before. It's going to be a long tour, and we'll definitely back for something really big for our family.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, a lot of energy going on. Airbourne is famous for his big energy shows, and you guys put everything you got for your audience. So how do you prepare for that? Do you do a specific warm-up? Because it must be grueling doing that each night. So how do you prepare mentally and physically to put all this show for your fans?
First thing is get as much sleep as possible, because that's not always the easiest thing on the road. You know, we have our bunks in the bus, and sometimes if it's a long drive and the roads are really bumpy or something like that, it becomes really hard to sleep. But sleep's really crucial. In terms of warming up, one of the main things we do is actually, you know, a lot of people would probably find our dressing room before a show strangely quiet and strangely calm, which is again a really important thing. It's kind of like the calm before the storm, reserving energy before exploding on stage. So that's definitely a big thing. And you know, obviously, if there's shows night after night after night, shows in a row, you can get tired and be lacking a little bit of energy. But I mean, one of the main things that I do before a show is I try and get to the stage 5 or 10 minutes early and just sort of hang out behind the amps or something like that. And I love feeling the energy of the room, getting really excited for the band to come on stage. And that's one of the main things to do to get through a long tour, is just feed off the energy that we are given.
Yeah, because it's a two-way, that's an exchange basically, because you give a lot of energy to the fans and they give you a lot of energy in return.
That's it, and it's one of those things, one wouldn't work without the other. It's a big interactive thing where, you know, we really rely as musicians and as a band on the energy and, like, you know, that immediate feedback from an audience. That's what energy is. Their energy is coming back at us, and you know, we definitely try and lift the energy to another level, and it's just like, you know, a big building that's going taller and taller and taller until it topples.
And yeah, it escalates quickly.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
They're always the best shows. I mean, I previous to this did another interview. I was talking about my memories of playing Paris 2 years ago, and that was the type of show that the energy in the room was already at crazy levels before the band even went on stage. And as I mentioned, I try and go and just sort of hang behind the amps at the back of the stage, and it was something that you couldn't really put your finger on, but it was just a feeling of the room was going to be really crazy that night. So you know, we love our audiences like that, and the French audiences in particular are, you know, we always remember the French shows for being the crazy ones. It's good. It's a good way to be.
Okay, we are very glad that you say that. So Harri, you've joined the band quite recently in 2017, if I'm right.
Yes.
So how did you meet the guys, and how did you you know, integrate this this crazy band that Airbourne is?
Well, I guess fortunately before 2017 and being asked to join the band, we'd all been friends for nearly 10 years back home. So you know, a lot of the things that someone joining a band would probably go through in terms of getting to know the other members of the band and getting used to everyone's personalities and interests and all that sort of stuff. We'd kind of already been through all of that way before even joining the band, which made the transition feel really natural, and in a weird way, as I was kind of always meant to be like that. You know, we've had a lot of fun back home in Melbourne before I joined the band, and a lot of, you know, just a lot of nights out where we'd be doing things, you know, trying to beat each other on the jukebox of like, all right, oh, you've picked that song, well, just wait for this one. This one's even better, and just things like that where we bond over the same type of music. And there were plenty of nights as well where we were either in Joel's living room or my living room, and it'd be 3 a.m. Playing records and having a drink, and at that point picking up guitars and sitting there just jamming with one another. So as I mentioned, that made the transition into the band really smooth, and in a weird way, within a week it kind of felt like I'd been in the band for years, because we'd already been through all that stuff that most new members to a band would go through.
Okay. Well, I'm very glad that you find this family.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's family. It's a brotherhood. You know, we all have the same interests and the same goals, and the final track on the new album is Rock and Roll for Life for a reason. It's something we all truly believe in, and if there was anyone who didn't truly believe in it, they wouldn't be here at this point. At points it gets too hard to not be 100% in.
Yeah, of course it is, because you guys, this is the 6th album of the band. You guys are already a 6th album on your, I mean, this is going to be the 6th album in your belt, so that's quite an impressive career. So you guys put a lot of energy on stage, but I think one of the best praise that one could say about Airbourne is that energy also translates into a record, into an LP. It really sounds like a live put on CD or on LP, on recording. So I'd like to talk a bit about the recording process. How do you guys manage to create that energy while being in the studio where no audience is listening to you?
Well, yeah, that was a really big focus of this new album in particular. And was a huge part of the reason we worked with Dave Cobb, the producer. He's the biggest producer in the world at the moment. He's very famous, I guess, for bringing like a certain element of raw, real energy to modern music, whereas obviously modern music has kind of reached a tipping point of the pursuit of perfection, which is a lot of producers simply being very good at Pro Tools and computers and things like that, and that becoming the way that records are made these days and all that sort of stuff. So he's you know, the total opposite to that kind of producer. So, you know, back home in Australia, when we were talking about the record and the type of album that we wanted to make, we put a big focus on wanting to make something that's stripped back, live, really raw, and almost like aggressive sounding.
Yeah.
You know, guitars that are really in your face and feel like they could bite your head off almost. And then in the initial conversation with Dave Cobb, that was, you know, the personalities kind of and the attitudes and even his vision for the album and what he thought he would like to do with us clicked immediately to the point that after that first conversation, he was just the obvious choice for the album. So yeah, we went over to Nashville to do the record with him earlier this year. We were lucky enough to be recording and calling an extremely famous studio home for 5 or 6 weeks while we were there. And coming back to your question about how that is created in the studio with an audience, a lot of credit for that does fall at Dave Cobb's feet. He didn't want us to work on demos as such, normal demos as most people would think of demos before coming into the studio. He's all about capturing the moment of inspiration at the moment of inspiration, rather than working on a song idea for months and months and months, potentially a year before you're actually in the studio trying to recapture that moment of inspiration. So we really just went in there with nothing but some riffs, some ideas, song titles, and I mentioned the Brotherhood before. That's what it was. It was just a group of mates, and he became part of the gang. Starting each day, sitting on a couch with guitars in our hands, morning coffee in our hands, sometimes with a hangover. Initially just talking about music and catching up, your mates, your friends, you love what you do, and developing things from there to the point of playing something that everyone's interested in, and all right, that's cool, let's now spend some time on that. And then we'd sort of play around with that, get it to the point we plug into amps, and the case with almost all of the songs on this record was that Cobb would be in the room with us, and without us even knowing, he'd sort of just slip out of the room and disappear for 10 minutes, and then
producer trick.
He'd normally come back 10 minutes later, burst through the room, that's it guys, we've got the take. And especially for the first couple of weeks, we were sitting there going, what are you talking about? We're still learning the song. And that was his thing. The tape was always rolling. Everything we were doing was being captured. And we were, as was our initial vision, we wanted to make an album that captured that raw feel and energy of what we do live, and also the energy of our favourite records as well. It's not about perfection or polishing everything up and having every snare hit sound the same and absolutely perfect. Or even, on a lot of our favourite records, the guitars are out of tune. So we'd go into the control room, listen back to the first take versus the third take, when we thought we really knew the song much better and started playing it more perfect. And it was always the first take that was better, because we were hearing what we do live, and we were also hearing that feeling that we get from our favourite records that was like, a common thing that we had with Cobb as well.
Okay, really interesting the way you spontaneously come up with the best version of the song, just having no consciousness of the tape rolling, and being completely focused on the music, and not that the pressure that you could have knowing that you are recording an album that is going to be sold and put online. So it's nice that you guys managed to still go to the root of what brought you as a band, which is playing music together and having fun and being spontaneous.
Absolutely.
That's great. You mentioned a lot. You said that you felt like you were part of a brotherhood, and that's. I mean that couldn't be more true, since there are two brothers in the band, Joel and Ryan. So how is it like working with these two brothers? How do they interact with each other? How do they bring the whole band together as a brotherhood?
Well, yeah. Obviously, they grew up together, and they're in a unique situation where, obviously, as brothers, they've chosen to now work together and live together 24/7. So, you know, like with any other family member that you spend so much time with, they definitely have their brotherly fights and arguments and things like that, whether it's on the bus or at sound check or any or you know, grabbing a morning coffee this morning, whatever it may be. But you know, I think that was the good thing about obviously knowing these guys for a long time before joining the band. You know, we have our own little ways of sort of understanding the brothers, and it's sometimes a case of just you have a laugh and just let it go. They'll tire themselves out and they'll forget what they're arguing about, or other times it'll be, you know, actually pointing out that something they're arguing about isn't worth arguing about or something like that. So yeah, it's one of those things where we all have each other's back, and we all band and our live crew as well. You feel like one big family and brotherhood in the bus. And obviously we're in a unique situation where we live together 24/7 and there's no escape, so it is about just knowing everyone's personal dynamic, and when, you know, you just need some space and you don't want to talk, so piss off, I just need to go and have a coffee and watch a movie and not talk to anyone, or when to sort of push the buttons and have a bit of fun and poke fun at each other.
All right. Okay, but ultimately, music brings you all together, and that's the bottom line.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Boneshaker now. So the record is coming out October the 25th, and there are a lot of, it's packed with heavy rock songs. Which ones are you looking mostly to be playing live?
Well, on the summer tour that we've just done, we did premiere and begin playing Boneshaker before it was even released, Boneshaker the song. And that was a cool way of doing it, I think. Maybe 5 years ago, it'd be more concerning to play a song before it's officially released, because you're not supposed to do that. It'll end up, someone will film it on their iPhone, it'll end up on YouTube. But we kind of reached the point of the way that the album was recorded and everything we were going for. It was all about live, and we didn't want to worry about that stuff. It was just like, oh, who cares if it ends up on YouTube? We want to play it. We love this shit, and it's going to be really exciting to add into the set. So that's what we did with Boneshaker on the last tour before it was released, and we're definitely going to continue doing that. It's been a really cool way to introduce the songs, but one that I'm looking forward to most is probably Burn Out the Nitro. Thinking of it as a guitar player, I mean, I love the riff. It's a super fun riff to play. The song itself is high energy, with a, you know, solid, fairly fast tempo as well. And I think that was one of the songs that just feels like it, you know, I actually feel that, and we all feel that all the songs are going to go great live because of the way that they were recorded and how we worked on them. But that one feels like a bit of a no-brainer, that of course that's going to work live. Everyone's going to like that one. That's going to be great. So Burn Out the Nitro is probably my favourite, and the one that I'm looking forward to getting in the set and playing live.
Okay. My personal favourite would be Backseat Boogie. We love it. Really straightforward and dumb, fall on the floor, and I really like this one.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the most rock and roll thing you've done recently, apart from playing music, of course?
Oh, the most rock and roll thing I've done recently. I mean, in terms of just the standard rock and roll cliches of carrying on and acting like a dickhead, I mean, we're not really all about that. It really is all about the music, but You know, we would definitely have some stories behind closed doors on the bus when we have a day off the following day or a long drive that that would be a little bit stupid. I mean, I guess most of the silly stories would involve too much drinking and getting a little bit excited with music on too loud and then doing something stupid based on that. So, you know, whether it's something like getting too drunk backstage at a festival and not being able to find the toilet, so trying to go to the toilet on a active power generator, and then having a security guard literally tackle to stop you from being electrocuted and dying. You know, there's stuff like that all the time, which are just stupid little things like close calls that, oh, that could have been bad if I did actually piss on the generator. Yeah, just little stuff like that. There's not many with you know, all the dumb sort of like 80s Sunset Strip kind of cliches.
Yeah. Okay. You guys be safe. Please be safe on the tour. Don't do that.
Yeah, we'll try and make it back to Paris.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
In a month.
Okay. Well, Harri, thanks a lot for your time. Do you have any last word you would like to say to our viewers on United Rock Nations?
This is Harri from Airbourne. Check out the new record, Boneshaker. We can't wait to come back to France. As I mentioned earlier, we're sorry that the show sold out so quickly. We love our French fans, and it's fucking awesome that the tickets went so quick. We are going to be coming back after this tour as well. This is not the Boneshaker World. This is not the proper Boneshaker tour. Sorry. There will be a Boneshaker World Tour starting next year, and we can't wait to come back and see you guys. Rock on.
Ok, thanks a lot. Merci à tous d'avoir suivi United Rock Nations. On vous souhaite une bonne musique et on espère vous voir très nombreux au concert d'Airbourne en octobre. D'ici là, portez-vous bien. Rock on.